Oli the Goalie Tech Reviews here. Today I wanted to do a video on something that I just picked up last night and I'm really excited about. My channel isn't about reviews of coffee makers by any shot, no pun intended, but I decided I wanted to do a video on this new product that I got. I've been quite happy with it. I picked it up last night. A little backstory, I have forever been using Keurigs and Espressos, all of these kind of things that create these throwaway products. Now, I for one would cut the aluminum tops off, pour the coffee into a container, save it up, put it in my garden, and then recycle the cups. But I've literally done that thousands of times, and I'm tired of it. And I want a coffee that tastes good. So, after doing a little investigating and looking around online, I found the DeLonghi TrueBrew, and I decided that I was going to give it a shot. I did that, and I have some great results, so stick around. Welcome back to the video, everybody. So, thanks for tuning in. As I mentioned in the intro, I wanted to do a bit of a review on this DeLonghi TrueBrew single-serve drip coffee maker with built-in grinder. I believe it's a burr grinder, which, to be honest with you, I have no clue what that means. But it grinds up the coffee quite nicely, and I'm pretty happy with it. So, basically what it was, as I mentioned earlier, tired of the pods and all the waste and everything else. I wanted to have a good coffee and one that didn't create a bunch of non-recyclable products that were just basically wasted. Did a little review, found the DeLonghi, was quite impressed with the few videos that I did find, as well as information online. Picked it up online at Canadian Tire, drove to Canadian Tire last night to pick it up, and tossed and turned all night waiting for the morning so I could try my first coffee. Well, I can tell you that I'm very impressed. What I absolutely love about this machine is that it does normal single-serve coffees all the way up to 24-ounce cups, as well as 3-ounce espresso shots, which, by the way, are fantastic. And as you can see here, I don't have a true coffee cup, but I really wanted to give you the ability to see how the coffee's brewed and the crema and everything that it produces when it makes that coffee. So I've just used a clear cup. So let's get right at it. No point in talking. Taking it out of the box, very easy to set up. Obviously, fill up the water tray. There was nothing further to put together. I can tell you that the coffee holder, or where you put the coffee beans, is sealed with a rubber strip, and the beans just basically sit in here, and they're filtered through the system and dropped in when you need to make your coffee. So very, very great design there. Very simple to use, very easy. You have all of the different settings here. Unfortunately, they're not touch settings, which is not a big deal in the sense of the buttons. You basically filter through with using one button. So turn the power on. It'll go through its little setup. I'll go back to setup. So as I set it up, basically threw on the water, added the beans. Really, that was the extent of it. Very straightforward to set up. Of course, then the time. Now, to actually make a coffee, and we're going to start with the espresso first, you basically use the size button to filter through the different settings. And again, we'll go all the way through, but we'll stop on the espresso. And then you have your type. Well, you can do a bold. You can also do over ice. This machine can also do iced coffees as well, which is fantastic. I haven't tried one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. That's just your secondary filler. So one thing I did forget to mention is there is actually a receptacle here that you can put in pre-ground coffee. So if you aren't using beans and you want to just use your pre-ground, you can do that as well. So that's great that this machine has the ability to do that as well. And then you have your 3 settings for your coffee choices. That is light, gold, and my favorite, bold. And then you have your setup, and the setup is pretty straightforward. Pressing the button helps you set up the time, which I've already done, so I don't need to do that. It also goes into a timer setting, as well as your temperature, or audio. You can actually mute it so it doesn't beep. And then your settings, which you have for temperature 1, 2, and 3, 3 being the highest. So pretty straightforward. Oh, and then also water hardness. I'm going to have to look at that one because I'm not sure what the setting number 4 is because my water here is pretty good, so I don't really need to worry about water hardness. Let's turn it back on. And it's ready to go. So why don't we start by brewing the coffee, and we'll see how that goes. Actually, sorry, an espresso, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's give it a go. Once you have the power on, you'll notice that the cup style is highlighted, so you know that it's ready to go. The bold is set for the strength, so I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to do an espresso right now. So let's hit the brew button, and I am going to let it run in real time. I'd like for you to see the actual time it takes to brew the coffee. And what you're hearing there in the background is, of course, the beans being ground, the water being fed into the, I guess the boiler, for the lack of a better word, and it gets it prepared. And before you know it, it will start to spit out, in this case, your espresso. And as I watch this, I may reevaluate on the live time. Look at that coming out nice and dark. You can actually see a bit of that crema. And you know, for a single serve coffee machine, to give you, you know, that kind of crema in an espresso, I think is pretty good. Now, I'm going to taste this off camera. Nice and hot as well, by the way. Cheers. Oh, yeah, that is really good. I have to tell you, I have to have another sip. It's so good. I used to be a pretty big fan of the Nespresso machine. But to be quite honest, I just felt like it just started getting to be too expensive and wasn't really, I don't know, in my opinion, worth the cost. When you look at something like this, single cup servings, exactly what you need, brewed at the time you need it. You can even set a timer to do it. I think that's a pretty sweet deal. And again, the taste of this is really good. So that is your single serve espresso. And now I think what we'll do is I'll reset it up and we'll go into doing the full cup. So let me get that ready. Okay, now we're ready to do a single serve full cup. So let's go to, we'll do 16 ounce. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a 12 just for this cup. It's a little smaller. Going to stick with the bold. I really like the taste of that. So let's go and hit brew. And it will grind up the coffee beans. And start to make the coffee. Sorry about the bump in the camera there. That's rookie mistakes when you don't have big fancy studios and you're doing this in the kitchen, in this case, Oli the goalie's kitchen. So it's starting to make the coffee. The one thing you can see, and I think you'll probably be able to see it on video as well, is just the richness, the darkness of the coffee. Even as this comes out as just a single serve coffee, it's very dark, it's very aromatic. I mean, the whole kitchen fills up with this amazing smell of coffee. It's almost like you're walking into, you know, a fancy coffee shop because the whole kitchen fills with this amazing smell of coffee. And as you can see, as it brews, again, it's very dark. I mean, obviously that has a lot to do with the bean that you choose as well. I just went with a President's Choice dark with a hint of chocolate. I think it was Arabica bean. Again, that shows you how much I know about coffee, not a whole lot. The only thing that I know is I want to be able to come into my kitchen, throw in my cup, make a coffee, have it basically be zero effort, and have it taste fantastic, and actually, you know, just work well. And this DeLonghi is doing that. It's actually incredible. The next thing that I'm going to show you after we're done making this coffee is what you're left with after the coffee is made. It's going to be extremely hot. As a matter of fact, it's too hot to actually pick up. So let me do this and hope that I don't end up wearing it. So, how's it going? Again, I love my coffee quite dark and bold and strong, and this fits the bill. Without question, this is, in my opinion, much better than any cup, Keurig, Nespresso, anything like that. Fresh, hot, and delicious. And the beauty of it is that it is really great to taste. I am going to actually throw that in a second into my normal day-to-day cup. Okay, so let's now go and show you what we're left with when we're done making the coffee. So put down the microphone here. Actually, I'll just bring it along with me. So what you do is this just pulls out. Actually, you do that first. This whole front pulls out, and I'll just reverse it to show you. And basically what you're left with, I don't know if you can actually see that or not, but are two little reservoirs. One is for water, one is for the puck. And the puck, when you do an espresso, comes out just as if it was a packed puck in a normal espresso machine. So pretty impressive, actually. And the other thing that I love about this system is that it just makes it so neat and tidy. There's a little bit of residue inside of the actual unit, but you know, that's to be expected, but incredibly designed very well as well. So then, of course, you know, you take that to your sink and you'd rinse out the water, you take your pucks and you get rid of them. There is also the brewer, and again, not knowing a lot about these machines, but with this brewer, you actually push in these two buttons, and then you can pull that whole unit out and actually clean it, and you know, just as opposed to descaling and everything else. So you have that option as well, which is really fantastic. So for now, I'm going to put this back. I'm just trying to think of, you know, some of the questions that you might ask, and please don't hesitate to write in the comments if you do have any questions that I can answer for you. But at the end of the day, here's really the simple breakdown. No more cups, no more pods, no more waste, no more non-recyclable products, even going as far as taking those cups or the pucks and the waste coffee, you're able to throw those into your garden and recycle that coffee, which is fantastic. So you literally have zero waste when you use this machine. It is all the way from 3 ounces espresso up to 24 ounce. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I also have a cup that I use when I'm off to work, my Oli the Goalie Tech Reviews coffee cup, and it fits. So the beauty there is I'm actually going to be able to make my coffee directly into my cup and take it with me when I go to work in the morning. So that is also fantastic. Super glad to hear that. So yes, all the way from 3 ounce up to 24 ounce, you have light, gold, and bold when it comes to your coffee styles. The temperatures range 1, 2, and 3 as far as heat levels. That's 3, which is the highest, and it's pretty hot actually. So I'm pretty happy with that as well. The reservoir, I believe, is 40 ounces. So you've got lots of water. You should be able to use this thing for 3 or 4 days without having to mess around with anything. When the time comes, though, that it does need to be changed, you get a little red indicator that you would have saw earlier that comes up on the screen here, and that shows you that either the water or the coffee grinds need to be taken out of the back in the storage unit there. As you saw earlier, coffee beans are poured into the top. You also have that secondary reservoir that you can put the pre-ground beans into. I guess maybe for, I don't know, I guess your standard drip coffees versus the beans. I don't know why anybody would ever want to do that. I want to have the freshest that I can get. Because that thing has the seal on it, it's going to keep it somewhat fresh. So obviously I'm not going to store a bunch of beans in there and leave them for a long time. The majority of my beans are stored in a sealed container so that they try to stay at least fresh. So yeah, great coffee, amazing taste. As you saw earlier, fantastic espresso, really great flavor, very dark. Like I said, really nice crema on it. So, is it going into a coffee shop and getting an espresso from there? No, it's not, but it's pretty darn close. And for somebody who wants to enjoy a coffee at home, this really is the way to go. And let's face it too, you can go and buy a bag of coffee beans, well, certainly in Canada anyways, for anywhere from $15 to $20, and a box of those Keurig cups are $45, and you're probably getting half of that for $45 versus $14 to $20 for a bag of coffee. That'll probably give you 2 or 3 times that amount. So even just economically speaking, it's really a great product in that sense as well. It did come in the box with some descaling material, some liquid, so that when it does need to be descaled, I picked up a secondary bottle. Again, I think it was $20, and it was enough for 5 or 6 descaling, so I'm good for probably a year and a half or so of descaling. And yeah, fantastic machine, great tasting coffee, super easy to use. We were a little bit concerned, still pretty hot, with the volume when you're making a coffee in the morning, not waking up the kids, etc. But it's actually not as loud as we thought it was going to be, and the product works amazing. I cannot recommend this more. I would say if I was rating this out of 5, I would for sure give it 5 stars. I really don't see anything that this product is not meeting when it comes to the promises that it has with its marketing material, but not only that, the coffee that it makes and the flavor. Again, this stuff is fantastic. So good. Very happy with my purchase. I know you will be as well. Guys, again, I know I may be hitting on a whole bunch of new viewers with this video. I hope you enjoy my video. I have lots of other tech review videos out there. For all of my subscribers and everybody watching the video, again, it explodes my mind every time I think people actually tune in and watch these videos. Such a crazy world we live in. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my videos. Please don't hesitate to subscribe. Click on the bell icon. Add some comments. And let me know the kind of videos that you want to see in the future. In the meantime, I just want to thank you again for your time. Take care, be safe, and happy weekend. And we just had Remembrance Day here in Canada. So for all those that have served our country, thank you for everything that you've given us.